Hello and welcome to another modeling video. This is Alan from the Mokonaman at YouTube with another model video. Today, unboxing, building and finishing the 1/72 4D Models RT-2PM Topol, a Russian rocket platform that mostly contains ICBMs, decoys and sometimes satellites. Purchased from AliExpress for around 40 Australian dollars. To save on shipping fees, the box was discarded and only got this large collection of plastic bags and instructions. 14 runners, including rubber and clear, with 7 additional larger pieces, containing many hundred snap-fit, injection molded reclaimed plastic parts in green. The instructions was a massive glossy A3 poster with about 30 windows containing many other smaller windows of sub-assembly. Some of the details only showing one view, getting so small it was difficult to see. For the monumental challenge and the heavy amount of plastic, fantastic value but very intimidating. The first time I had concerns for the complexity of the 4D model project. I hesitantly started and cut some corners by only cutting close to the part with precision nippers. It is a snap fit but treats like a hand grenade, more on that later. Cement was used. Large connectors with fitting issues were reamed open. Nubs and imperfections sanded back with 3 layers of sandpaper, 3, 6 and 1000 grit. Components selected for color separation or cementing immediately, using PVA post painting. I'm not one to gravitate to very large kits, especially with high parts counts. Flipping through all the runners and locating parts for a while does take a bit of the fun from the hobby for me. Some brands are smart and collate stages of the builds to single runners, making it easy, and it did this moderately well. This was manufactured between the first and third generation of tanks. The aim seemed to go for proportion and accuracy well before functionality and ease of build. I have to admit the ambitious approach of the detail and how it goes together with the intent of not using glue in little pegs, snap joints and even some slide mechanisms are fantastic ideas and tooled very, very well. With its cheaper colored injection molding and warpage, all this goes out the window, and if relying to just click it together is incredibly frustrating and does come apart. The instructions do not show multiple views of how some parts go inside or click to certain joints, needing to go backwards and forwards through the other imagery for reference or looking at the real thing. And many of the parts are very fine, especially inside the chassis, with the drive shaft being at the point of near snapping with tension if connected in the joints. Half the time removing the snap points and gluing into place was a lot easier. Once we pass assembling the chassis and putting all the drive gear and fine detail together, which was reasonably painful, putting the out of armor, cabin and larger parts and funky and funner detail did bring back the enjoyment, and as you go through the build you're rewarded with a lot of fascinating and fun parts with some great detail, a lot that you can dig your teeth into painting if you choose to do some more interesting schemes than just straight up Russian green. The missile component was the best designed, and it just slots all together with the extra detail clicking in, no seams, no faults. This was very well done and shows what the future of 4D is very much going to be like. It does have some articulation and gimmick showing a launch position and a transport position, but I wasn't confident to make it work that way and movable. The rubber tires was a very nice touch that slips the inner wheel in and slipping on. It does have playability and can roll around, though later I will glue this into place. The missile is also removable if you wish to model it with a different payload or a bear. Had some leftover parts as I'm never going to be displaying it in its launching form. With a mix of plastic cement and super glue, I'm able to keep it all in place, though some chunky bits is attached only with very thin arms that could snap off. This is an extremely fragile piece and care should be taken. Maybe invested several to close to 10 hours in its careful construction, still making some sloppy mistakes. A lot of care and reasonable amount of scale modeling experience will be required, and not for kids, intermediate or beginners. I did not want to be bogged down in a ton of time and effort and sped along with finishing, giving 3 tones of paint straight onto the plastic without primer, as the bare plastic is close enough to the finish I intend, and with so much inner void I didn't want to have some grey or other colours coming through. The darkest green would be misted on the bottom and shaded underneath the missile and all cavity spaces and detail, with the sides and top coloured in my automotive Russian green that I got from an automotive parts store, and the very top highlighted with a little bit of dusting of the lightest green, all via a 0.3mm gravity feed airbrush, and also a cheap one from AliExpress on a plastic compressor at 11 psi automotive thinner. At the time this model was being purchased and pre-planning it, conversations on the online news media and at my workplace regarding the European conflict, there was a video and photos going around of a black silver bottom with multiple grey bands hypersonic missile, which caused a bit of intrigue and debate. I was not able to find good and solid reference material online. The media examples were conceptual CGI, though I have found a lot of photos from the 90s to current day of this platform in many different colours and camouflage schemes, some even done in the field. So I took some artistic liberty to break up the colours with something more experimental and unconventional for standard issue. This was just a black paint with a shading of a very dark grey, hand paint medium grey, with the end in silver. Otherwise, standard issue Russian equipment can lack imagination and just be a solid straight colour for camouflage and blending in means. With all the rich detail, I thinned down some Tamiya accent colour with gum turpentine and sludge washed everything in multiple stages to pick up the panels and raise detail. All the painted parts was glued together with PVA glue not to damage or melt paint. Then after a few days, matte clear was applied on the whole surface to dull down the glossiness from the painting and weathering stages. Also retiring my turntable of 15 years. And it's done! Not my best piece, but it's not bad at all. Built, this is visually stunning and looks fantastic. With the complaints I made and frustrations had for a few hours, absolutely worth it for a piece this iconic in my 72nd collection, and it's the largest model I have in this line of armour vehicles. You would not regret getting it on the proviso that you must use glue or it will not hold together. It's a fantastic model, but for my taste and maybe many others who are familiar with tightly fit precision models and snap fit, it's not going to be a lot of fun. My expectation with the brand is a very quick turnaround and a lot of fun. It got bogged down and it ate a lot of time. In exchange, very accurate. I cut corners and just wanted to get it done. It's not a commission, showstopper or competition piece, just something for the collection. A bridge and a break to my next big and spectacular project. But happy enough. In the right hands, it has the potential to be polished up and become a fantastic piece. This concludes the video. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. Please check out the description section down below for reference and links to social media, other posts and photos of finished builds. We will catch you guys next time. See ya!